Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Jnanamurtin Nityam Vimalamachalam Sadguru. All the viewers who are joining us today, Navagraha Homa that we just had in the temple. And now we'll be learning a little bit more about Navagrahas and what Devi Parashakti herself has revealed about the Navagrahas. Yes, so first let us see Devi Parashakti's revelations about the Navagrahas.
You are feeling stuck. Listen, feeling stuck in the life is due to pralaya. Everyone all over the world is feeling stuck in the life. Meditate on Navagrahas. Connect with Navagrahas. Pray to Navagrahas. You will be free from this suffering of feeling stuck and insecurity. Om. Om.
Yes. So let us look at the transcript of Devi Parashakti about the Navagrahas. Devi revealed, Tatastu, meditate on the Navagrahas. They will remove your feeling stuck. Listen, feeling stuck in the life is due to pralaya. Everyone all over the world is feeling stuck in the life. Meditate on the Navagrahas. Connect with the Navagrahas. Pray to the Navagrahas. You will be free from the suffering of feeling stuck and insecurity. Everyone connected, sitting with us all over the world. Listen, I am continuously everywhere. People feeling stuck, whether in health, wealth, career, life, relationships, spirituality, power manifestation. Whenever you are stuck, it is because of pralaya. Pralaya gives you delusion. Wrong direction makes you feel stuck. Room is like a prison. The power of this pralaya will break your very on the Navagrahas, who are the manifestation of Paramashakti, Parameshwari. Connect yourself with the Navagrahas. Now, all the grievances will leave. The powers of the Navagrahas will get manifested in the form of the sound of the Navagraha Suktam. Anne, Devi continues on. Anne Parameshwari, Parashakti, Paramashakti, Navagrahanayaki will manifest in all of you. For the great grace of Navagrahas to overflow in all of you. She will do good grace. I am bestowing with good grace, overflowing in Shivamaya, Mother Paramashakti, in the form of Navagrahas, overflowing as a great grace that does good to the world, doing good to all of you, destroying all bad. Mother, I am bestowing with great grace as Sarva Mangala Mayi, as Sarva Mangala Swarupini, clearing all the Graha doshas, entering your being in the form of the Navagraha Suktam, doing all goodness, freeing all of you from Maya and Pralaya. I am giving goodness, I am bestowing with Jnana Shakti, Navagraha Suktam Avataraya. So this is what Devi Parashakti has revealed as the problem, the reason that many people are feeling stuck during this pralaya due to the influence of the Navagrahas. And Devi also revealed the solution for getting out of the feeling of being stuck in life. And as we just witnessed the Navagraha Homa, let us learn a little bit more about the effects of the Navagrahas and how people are feeling stuck and how we can meditate and connect with the Navagrahas to prevent ourselves from, to move out of the feeling of being stuck. So let's look at some of the evidences first of how people are feeling stuck, whether in the field of relationships or their careers or even their mental health. Many people have been experiencing this feeling of being stuck. So let's look at some of the research that has been published about this. And in BBC, it was published that the pandemic is causing spikes in breakups and divorces. And in this article, it states that divorce rates are increasing around the world. And relationship experts warn that the pandemic-induced breakup curve may not have peaked yet. And it continues on that for some couples, the increase in mental health problems is linked mental health problems linked to the pandemic is playing a role in the breakups. And other research shows that a leading British law firm, Stewart's, logged 122% increase in inquiries about divorce between July and October. And this is compared with the same period in the previous year, so last year. And this spike in the search for online advice has increased as well. And there's been a 34% increase in sale of basic. And many people have experienced that the mental health has been linked to the breakups during the pandemic. But many relationship experts believe that even strong couples who weren't facing problems before the pandemic and avoided major shifts in household health or dynamics may also be susceptible to breakups. This is because the pandemic has taken away well-established routines that offer comfort, stability, and rhythm. And this is a psychotherapist, Ronan Stillman, in the UK Council for Psychotherapy, to explain this. And the latest buzzword for describing this feeling of being stuck during the pandemic is languishing. In People magazine, it was published that languishing is the latest COVID buzzword as people feel stuck in the waning days of the pandemic. And so this is not just a few people, or if you're experiencing this, you understand that many people across the globe are experiencing this, and it is not because of anything other than the effects of the Navagrahas during this time, during the pandemic. And in this article, it describes languishing is the neglected middle child of mental health. It's described by the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania professor and TED Talk host. It's the void between depression and flourishing, the absence of well-being. You don't have symptoms of mental health, but you're not the picture of mental health either. You're not functioning at your full capacity. In another paper from 2003, so earlier, this has also been studied. Keyes said that languishing is more well during the time of this pandemic, in a purgatory between the two, and at risk of moving towards mentally ill without further prevention. So people, even in the dimension of mental health, are also feeling
Paramashivoham. Om Nithya.
What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa.
But by evolution,
and setting model communities. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually, the spiritual prosperity. We happen to whole planet Earth. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailasians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life,
self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment science.
Again, welcome back, dear viewers. Sorry for the technical glitch. So now let us continue with understanding about how people are experiencing feeling stuck during this pandemic, during this pralaya. So even in the dimension of births in the past 35 years, a study by Brookings Institution think tank estimates that 300,000 fewer babies were born in 2021. And in BBC was also reported that US birth rates fall during the pandemic. And in this report, it states that despite spending more time at home due to the pandemic, the US is in the midst of a baby bust, not a baby boom. US births have been falling for nearly a decade, and 2019 saw the fewest births in 35 years, but the final number of 2020 could slip even lower. An estimated 300,000 fewer babies are expected in 2021, according to a study. So during this past year, it was already expected to be a very drastic decrease in the number of pregnancies. And it comes as women slightly outnumbered men in the workforce, but this labor market participation has now dropped to 57%, the lowest since in their careers in the labor market. And so let's understand a little bit more about the cascading effect of COVID-19 don't just stop with people losing life. Its irreversible effects on health, but also its effects on the livelihood of people. This effect is felt on our economy, mental health, and the social structure, which has been tumbling down since the beginning of this pandemic. And in this report, it shows that 50% of students are still affected by school closures, and there has been a decrease of 30% in clean energy transition investments, as well as 135 people have fallen into poverty or will be pushed into poverty due to the pandemic. And in other dimensions, people are also experiencing this, where we've seen a decline in the real estate market, and 81 million people have lost jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the turmoil it has created. And here you can see it was reported in the International Labor Organization that 81 million people have lost jobs due to the turmoil created in the Asia Pacific labor markets during the pandemic. And here you can see it was reported in the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis that about the impact of COVID-19 on residential real estate. And in this report, it states that COVID-19 pandemic significantly affected the US residential real estate market during the spring months. And another major factor that many people have been experiencing is an increase in mental health issues and suicidal ideation during the pandemic. It has exacerbated the risk factors for suicide for many people, and there's been a 51% increase in emergency department visits for suspected suicide attempts among US girls between ages 12 and 17, and this has increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. So now let us look at first, let's understand, many of us have already experienced this. You don't really need the statistics to understand how the pandemic, the pralaya, has been affecting people's lives and our own lives, whether in the dimension of relationships, health, or careers. Every aspect, every dimension of our lives has been affected. And let's now understand what Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the Nijavatar of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on. Here you can see some of the benefits of meditation as reported.
Nithyananda participates and encourages scientific researchers to derive evidences for meditation and healing through meditation. Dr. R. Murli Krishna, President COO, Integris Mental Health and James L. Hall Jr., Center for Mind, Body and Spirit, Oklahoma in US, and his team invited Nithyananda to derive scientific evidences for meditation and the state of his enlightenment.
When Swamiji came, I have requested him to do one thing. I asked him, would you be willing to undergo some scientific investigation of the meditation process? He very cheerfully agreed without one complaint. He went for 3 repeat sessions for PET scanning and 3 repeat sessions for quantitative EEG sessions. And these are really not very easy tests to go through. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of willingness to do that. So we did that. Scientific findings are verifiable. They are replicable. You can replicate them, duplicate them. So Swamiji went through those sessions and
which goes and sits in parts of the brain that are active. In the normal, non-meditative state, the brain is very active. And when we are seeing someone, the rear end of the brain, the visual cortex, is very active, as shown in the diagram.
Usually the brain is so active, there are 100 billion brain cells there. But what meditation does is something very interesting. It shows the frontal lobes getting more active. The frontal lobe is where you have judgment, wisdom, reasoning. Here are some of the brain scans I'm going to share with you. This is alert, non-meditative state. The second one is 30 minutes into 30 minutes meditation. Look at the frontal lobes, how they light up. They light it up big time, significantly right here. Right here. But this is something interesting. Dopamine is produced through dopamine. It's a neural receptor. It's a chemical that transmits messages of pleasure. It basically evokes whatever gives you life. The D really stands for divine spark. The D also stands for delight, and the dopamine smile. What's also interesting is that he could, at will. It's a fast, not only a sophisticated knowledge, but these things have application in daily life for all of us.
Nithyananda's system of free healing, known as Nithya Spiritual Healing, has been baffling the medical world, curing diseases from migraine to cancer. Qualified people are also initiated to become healers. The complete report of the research conducted on
And that was the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has himself revealed about how beneficial meditation is and has proven it scientifically. Now let us understand what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revealed about stress, about prayer, how it is the best stress buster.
If early morning sleep is abused, your divine rights are violated. If you are constantly inspired to do yoga early morning, Brahma Muhurta time, and everyday puja, sit that 30-40 minutes and melt down to prayer to bust your stress. I tell you, prayer is the best stress buster. your eyes and melting down. Prayer to Paramashiva. Intense yearning, Vyakulata, talking to Paramashiva. I tell you, every day puja is a ultimate reach. If you do the kind of the stress-free life you will live, your whole biological clock will be aligned to Kailasa. I tell you, habit of Nitya Puja, live long, happy. In my whole life, it is Nitya Puja, Puja with the deities is the best stress buster. Touch the deities, do decoration, dress up.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Yes. So now that we've understood from the Supreme Pontiff himself about the benefits of prayer and meditation, let us understand a little bit more about the Navagrahas and their impact on humans. So, of course, Vedic scientists have well researched the science of Jyotisha and have understood how the planetary effects impact humans. Let's look at what modern science has understood about this. So there's been scientific evidence about how humans are affected by the planets. Planets affect electromagnetic waves, and this is scientifically proven. Brain waves are also a form of electromagnetic waves. Hence, they are also affected with the change in the position of the planets. So in a research that was published in March of 1951, an American radio engineer, John H. Nelson, discovered that there was a degradation in the propagation of radio waves with respect to different positions of planets and at different angles. Now, what do radio waves have to do with humans? Radio waves are, as we know, are a type of and brain wave hard to measure, unlike Dr. Percy Seymour, who is a British astrophysicist and astronomer, states that the revolving planets play a very important role in the development of the human fetus in brain development of the human body. And it is observed that the magnetic field of the Earth changes daily and seasonally. This fluctuations in the geomagnetism have an effect on the brain. Thus, the geomagnetism plays a major role in the brain and body development of the human fetus and causes solar activity, which causes geomagnetism. So therefore, solar activity is responsible for geomagnetism, which influences all biological organisms, including human beings. So some researchers, as we've seen, has found that electromagnetic waves are affected by the planetary positions, and human brainwaves are also a form of, do affect brainwaves as well. And in this, it's also shown that geomagnetism has an effect on the brain, and geomagnetism is influenced by solar activity. So the solar activity is caused by the alignment of the planets. Thus, the planets play a major how planetary positions and solar activity influences the human brain and body and the development of the human fetus. And so let's look a little bit more about the scientific evidence. The Earth's magnetic field changes regularly, thereby affecting the magnetic compounds in the cerebellum in similar ways during brain development, resulting in similar personality traits for those developing at similar times in similar locations on Earth. And according to Dr. Harold S. Burr, a professor of anatomy at Yale Medical School, he states that complex magnetic fields not only establish the pattern of human brain at birth, but also regulate and control it throughout life. So this is exactly what our Vedic scientists have understood and have described in the science of Jyotisha. So here is the shloka for the Navagrahas. So let's understand a little bit more about the Navagrahas as per Vedic astrology and the effects of the Navagrahas on human beings. So Nava means 9 and Graha means planet. As per Vedic astrology, there are 9 planets that influence our lives. The position of a planet at the time of human birth will have an influence on his actions and reactions to different situations in life. So this is also verified by what we've seen in modern science, where they've shown that the position and the time and location of where you were born, the planetary positions of at the time you were born affects your development as a fetus and throughout your life, as we saw earlier in the research. And every life as it is has its own ups and downs. When there is improper planetary alignment for any individual, it is called a dosha or a negative influence. Due to these Navagraha doshas, people fall into depression and certain low moods. This low period may last for some period based on the power of the planets. However, this can be averted with intelligence, connecting to the cosmic intelligence to avert any hindrance in life and bestow tremendous peace and success in life. And for this, Navagraha Puja is the Navagraha doshas, and their aggression subsides as we approach the new moon day, the Amavasya. According to this Vedic science, these planets and their positions will have influence on the human body and mind. So let's understand relief from chronic control over emotions and keeps your inner space in coolness. And Angaragan, Mars, is the protector of Dharma. He controls the muscular system of the body and the circulatory system. Buddha, or Mercury, is the planet relief from diseases related with nervous system and body function, and grants wisdom, commercial success, and growth. Guru, or Jupiter, is the master of all the grahas. Shukra, or Venus, symbolizes love and passion, and he is a giver of wealth, fortune, and luxury living, if positioned well in one's horoscope. Shani, Saturn, is very instrumental for reducing the intensity of hardship caused by adversities. And Rahu is affected. When Rahu is affected, one faces several miseries and obstacles in the way of success. And Ketu is the demon's tail, is the representation of the karmic collection of both bad and good, spirituality and supernatural influence. Navagrahas have played a major role in many of the Puranic stories, the outcome of our Puranic stories. Let's first bring all of the Navagrahas, capture all of the Navagrahas and keep them in his home and keep them under his control. So they do exactly as he says. Ravana made them lie face down on the steps to